dust settles on the blood-soaked plains of Cannae, where the mightiest army Rome has ever assembled lies shattered, tens of thousands of legionaries slain in a single catastrophic day. Rome, the eternal city, the rising power of the Mediterranean, teeters on the brink of annihilation. Hannibal Barca, the brilliant Carthaginian general, stands triumphant, his name echoing like thunder across Italy. Yet, the gates of Rome remain closed, unassailed. How did the Republic survive its darkest hour? How did Hannibal's invincible march falter against an enemy that refused to break? As we trace Hannibal's path through the sun-baked fields and rugged mountains of Italy in the years following that fateful battle on August 2nd, 216 BC, watch closely on this animated map. After Cannae, Hannibal's army, though victorious, is weary and reduced. His forces, once around 50,000 strong before the battle, comprising elite African infantry, fierce Gallic and Celtiberian warriors, Spanish cavalry, and swift Numidian horsemen, now number perhaps 40,000 to 45,000, after suffering some 6,000 to 8,000 losses, mostly among the brave Gauls who held the center. Hannibal's strategy has always been one of liberation, to peel away Rome's Italian allies, shattering the confederation that fuels its endless manpower. Rather than marching north toward Rome, a grueling 250-mile trek across hostile terrain with an exhausted army short on supplies and lacking heavy siege equipment, Hannibal turns south, seeking to consolidate his gains and exploit the shockwaves of Cannae. In late 216 BC, he moves swiftly into Campania, one of Italy's richest regions, its fertile volcanic soils dotted with prosperous cities. Key defections follow rapidly: Arpi in Apulia, Salapia, Herdonia, and then the crown jewel, Capua, the second largest city in Italy. A magnificent Hellenistic center with grand theaters, amphitheaters, and walls that rival Rome's. By winter 216 BC, Hannibal establishes his headquarters in Capua, its luxurious villas and abundant granaries offering respite for his troops. Here, amid the opulence, his soldiers rest. But the comforts of Capua begin to soften their edge, as ancient sources whisper. In 215 BC, Hannibal presses deeper into southern Italy. He campaigns in Samnium and Lucania, rugged hill country where rebellious tribes join him. Cities like Compsa fall quickly, and he secures alliances with Bruttium's fierce mountain folk in the toe of Italy's boot. Tarentum, the great Greek port on the Ionian Sea, defects in 213 BC through treachery. Its citadel, held briefly by Romans, but soon fully Carthaginian by 212 BC, granting Hannibal vital access to the sea, though Roman naval dominance limits resupply from Carthage. Watch as red arrows mark his relentless movements, from Apulia's flat plains westward to Campania's verdant valleys, then south through the Apennine spine, treacherous passes and dense forests, into Bruttium and Calabria. In 214 BC, he clashes repeatedly near Beneventum and Nola, where Roman commander Marcellus thwarts him in stubborn defenses. Hannibal ravages the countryside, burning farms and vineyards to provoke battle. But Rome, chastened by Cannae, refuses direct confrontation. By 211 BC, as Roman sieges tighten on Capua, Hannibal launches a daring feint, marching north toward Rome itself, encamping just 3 miles from the city walls along the Anio River. Panic grips the eternal city. Auctions continue on the occupied land, a defiant gesture, but Hannibal withdraws south, unable to besiege the fortified capital without engines or endless supplies. His path narrows, confined increasingly to Bruttium's wild southern peninsula by 207 BC, after his brother Hasdrubal's defeat at the Metaurus River dashes hopes of reinforcement. Smaller victories follow at Petelia and Locri, but Roman armies reclaim Tarentum in 209 BC, and Capua falls in 211 BC after a brutal siege, its senators executed in a grim warning. Hannibal holds Croton and a few coastal strongholds until 203 BC, when Scipio's invasion of Africa forces his recall. For over a decade, he roams Italy's south, a lion trapped in a shrinking cage, his genius undimmed but starved of the decisive blow. Now pause on this infographic to grasp the sheer horror of Cannae, the battle that should have ended Rome. On that sweltering August day, in Apulia's dry plains near the Aufidus River, Hannibal faced a Roman force of approximately 86,000 men, 80,000 infantry, and 6,000 cavalry, the largest army the Republic had ever fielded. Against them, Hannibal's 40,000 infantry and 10,000 cavalry, a multicultural host of Libyans in chainmail, Gauls with long swords and wild charges, Iberians in white tunics edged purple, and Numidians darting like shadows. The carnage was unprecedented. Roman losses between 55,000 and 70,000 killed. Polybius records 70,000 slain, Livy around 55,000, plus 10,000 to 18,000 captured. In a single afternoon, Rome lost perhaps 1/5 of its adult male citizens of fighting age, more dead than in any other battle in its history. Bodies piled so thick that rings stripped from fallen senators filled 3 bushels. Carthaginian losses, a mere 6,000 to 8,000. A lopsided slaughter rivaling the bloodiest days of modern warfare, like the Somme in 1916, but compressed into hours. Imagine over 100 Romans dying every minute at the height of the encirclement, trapped in a shrinking pocket, hacked down without mercy as escape routes vanished. This was no ordinary defeat. It was annihilation. The human cost staggering. Fathers, brothers, sons from every corner of Italy, their blood soaking the earth in rivers. Yet this apocalypse forged Rome's resolve. In the aftermath, Rome teetered on collapse. Panic seized the city. Human sacrifices were offered to appease the gods, a rarity in Roman history. The Senate refused Hannibal's peace overtures, rejecting ransom for prisoners, many of whom were left to rot or sold into slavery. Instead, they turned to Quintus Fabius Maximus, the delayer, reinstating his cautious strategy. No more massive pitched battles. Roman armies shadowed Hannibal, harassing foraging parties, blocking passes, recapturing defecting cities one by one through siege and diplomacy. Fabius understood Hannibal's genius, his reliance on mobility, on winning allies by demonstrating Roman vulnerability. But Rome's strength lay in its depth. Endless legions raised from loyal Latins, even arming slaves and criminals. While Hannibal won skirmishes and held the south, he lacked reinforcements from a hesitant Carthage, plagued by political factions. His army dwindled through attrition, disease, and desertion. No siege train to crack Rome's walls, no fleet to challenge its seas. Rome struck elsewhere, conquering Spain, neutralizing Macedonia, invading Africa. Hannibal's Italian Odyssey became a war of endurance he could not win. By 203 BC, isolated in Bruttium, he sailed home, leaving Italy scarred but unconquered. Rome's survival at its nadir reveals the Republic's unbreakable spirit. not in flashy victories, but in grim perseverance, in refusing surrender when all seemed lost. Hannibal, the greatest tactician of his age, shattered armies, but could not shatter a people's will. These events reshaped the Western world. Rome emerged supreme, its resilience a foundation for the empire that would dominate for centuries, influencing law, engineering, and governance to this day. Hannibal's shadow looms as a warning. Tactical brilliance alone cannot conquer unbreakable resolve. If this tale of defiance and destiny moved you, subscribe for more journeys into history's epic turning points. The story continues. What topic should we explore next?